let us review Zelda Breath of the Wild. Let's do it, you guys. So for this gameplay, I captured all the gameplay on the Switch 2 version, but I'm going to be grading the actual, just the game. Okay. The Switch 2 version is an improvement. It looks better. The sharp edges around Link himself just looks so crisp. It looks so nice. It's so clear. It's vivid. I feel like Nintendo finally got to release the game that they made all those years ago at this point. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the actual scoring of this game. You guys, story and characters. Now, the opening on the plateau definitely built up very nice lore. I like that. It built up a really nice curiosity as far as, ooh, what's going to happen next? Who's this old man? Where's Princess Zelda? What's up with these old robots? Like all that kind of stuff is very, very cool. A lot of the characters are very, very cool. Remember Mipha with Mipha's Grace, and there was the, I forget the other characters. You guys, it's been years since I played this game, but I do remember the characters. I do remember the one who flies and the one, the Goron and all those different characters. So characters, the game's got it. They did good with that. The old man was a nice introduction. Actually meeting the king of Hyrule and having him be a focused character is nice. Having voice acting for Princess Zelda and some of the other characters was really nice. So the character-wise, they did well. The build-up of the story, they did very well. Although the delivery of the story is very convoluted. Finding just random voice memos from years ago in random spots and not in any particular order is nice for exploring, but it's not very good for a narrative-based game, which, to be honest with you, most Zelda games aren't very narrative-based. I guess they did the best they can, but I'm going to give this a 4 for story and characters. Let's go to music and audio. The music in this game, the sound effects of Link running around, climbing on things, swinging his sword, the enemy sounds, all of that is extraordinary. 5 out of 5. Easy. Okay. My gripe with the game, and it came back to me while I was playing it this time through, the menu sound effects. To me, the boops and the beeps and all that kind of stuff, when you're navigating through the menu, it sounds so sterile. It sounds so like a dialed tone. It doesn't sound large. It doesn't sound magnificent. It doesn't sound like Zelda. It sounds like just, it sounds like it was a placeholder. Like, oh yeah, we'll eventually put a sound effect in here. And then they never did. Like they just kept it default. And it sounds really basic. So navigating through the menu is ugly sounds. I don't like it. It sounds really weird. And I thought that when I was playing it the first time. It took me a while to get used to it. Playing it again this time, I realized, oh yeah, those sound effects are weird, aren't they? So I don't like those sound effects. I'm gonna go 4.5. Do you want magnificent for the UI? Yes. When I flip through the cycles, I want to hear the pages turning or the something being immersive. I just don't want to hear like doodle-doo. It just sounds very surface level, very, very basic to me. And I didn't like it back then. I don't like it now. So there you have it. That's my gripe with the sound effects, you guys. You can hate me if you want. Leave it in the comments if you hate me. I'm not a big fan of the sound effects on this game or the UI sound effects. Everything else sounds fantastic. Graphics and visuals. The game looked beautiful back then. I honestly felt that even with the fuzziness around Link, even with the kind of blurred out graphics, it was a beautiful game back then. It's a beautiful game now. I think the only thing that held this game back was the fact that the Switch wasn't as big of a powerhouse as other consoles were. Had this game been released on the Xbox of its time, it would have looked like it looks now. It would have looked great. It would be unfair to score it lower because of what I know the potential is now playing this. Like had I been grading this game a year ago, I would have never knew this existed. But I would be grading it based on what I felt at the time. And what I felt at the time was this is a gorgeous game, despite the problem with the graphics. And I noticed the issues with the graphics even back then. Even back then when I was playing it, I realized how not quite perfect it looked, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. Art style, visually appealing, absolutely yes. Does it fit the genre and tone? Yes. The color schemes, the environments, everything about it is gorgeous, and everything is Zelda, okay? Animation smooth and natural. I always liked when Link's running and then he grabs onto a wall to climb, the animation smooth. When he's paragliding and then he goes onto a wall to climb, boom, it's smooth. So no matter what he's doing, if he's swimming and then he gets to a wall, it looks smooth. So what I'm getting at is all the transitions into different actions he's taking always look so smooth and so good. So even though the graphics weren't top notch in their time, it did what it was supposed to do. It looked great. So I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5, even though now playing the Switch 2 version, we see how much better it could be. But of the time, I think it was as good as it gets. This definitely set the stage, set the bar for every other game coming out after this. Any new Zelda game has to be this or better, and that's going to be a tough hill to climb. Okay, level design. This is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm not a fan. Environments look fabulous. The entire map looks fabulous. I can search over every square inch of this game, of this map, and just be delighted to see everything I see. All the nooks and crannies, all the little crevices, everywhere you can climb, everywhere you can explore, the desert, the lush green fields, the snowy mountains, the lava pits, like everything is exquisite. Everything's fantastic. But the levels though, all of the shrines and all of the beasts, they just look so samey. Nothing really distinguishes itself. There's no shrines that really speak to me that are like, oh, remember that one shrine where we did this? No, because they all look the same, and you're doing just basically random puzzle stuff. So there just was not a variety in the individual levels. The world design is 6 out of 5, right? The world design is 100 out of 5. The world design is probably the best world in a game. It's just the levels, the individual levels are just so bland and boring. Okay. I was complaining about the sound effects, and the UI sound effects sound so bland and so sterile. That's how all the shrines feel to me. The shrines feel the way the UI sound effects looks. No, the shrines look like all the UI sound effects sound. Like it's very, very bland and boring and samey. So here's the trouble I'm having, you guys, is how much points, because it's out of 5. And I can't give it a 5 because the shrines are just so samey and all of the beasts are so samey. I have a hard time giving it a 5. So I got to back it up. But how much down though? How far down? My gut tells me I want to give this a 3.5. I want to be pretty low on this because the shrines are just so boring. But at the same time, well, let's read the rest of it actually. Is navigation intuitive and encouraging of exploration? Okay, that's true about the shrines. Yes, that's true about definitely the overworld. Yes. Do challenges progress naturally and align with core? Okay, so everything about the shrines, except for how they look, basically, is what I'm getting at. Everything about the shrines are fantastic. The navigation, the exploration, the challenges they present are all fantastic. It's just the way they look. They all look the same, and that bothers me. So I'm gonna go with a 4. I'll go with a 4. I wanted to do a 3.5, but I think that's too low. The shrines, after all, aren't the point of the game, but it's a big part of the game, and they all feel the same. And same thing with those giant beasts. They all feel very samey. So I don't like that about it. So I'm gonna go with a 4. Gameplay, you guys just try to talk me out of a 5. Okay. Oh, you know what? Actually, the destructible weapons. Ugh. Oh, I was gonna give this a 5 until I thought about the destructible weapons. I don't like that every single weapon is destructible. I think there should be, like, if they want to have destructible weapons, okay, but maybe they should have like a top tier of every type of weapon. Like they have the Hylian shield and they have the Master Sword, and those are indestructible. But the sword, after a while, it goes like on a timeout because it has to recharge. I think if every class of weapon had its top tier where it was indestructible, I would like that because then you can collect those. But the fact that everything except for 2 items are destructible kind of bothers me. But I know that was also very intentionally done. So it wasn't like oversight on their part. It wasn't anything they did by accident that just kind of made it crummy. They intentionally went out of their way to do it like that. So on one hand, I appreciate them for having the I guess the follow through to actually go through with something like that. On the other hand, I'm like, come on guys, like I want more that's not so destructible. I'm gonna go 4.75 on this, and that's the score right there. There you go. What do you know? Breath of the Wild gets an A. I'm happy with that score. This is a fantastic game. Breath of the Wild is a very, very, very top tier game in my eyes. Everybody should experience this game. This, or to be honest with you, this or Tears of the Kingdom. I just happen to like this one better because I played this one first and it was my first experience in this. But if you never played this game and you ended up just playing Tears of the Kingdom at first, then yeah, all the feelings that I have about this game, you're probably going to have with Tears of the Kingdom. This happens to quench my thirst for this game already. So that's why I never really got into Tears of the Kingdom. But either way, great game. Thanks for joining me in trying this version of the game, the Switch 2 version. Now, I'm not going to go out and say that the Switch 2 version is the version that you need to play. If you don't have a Switch 2, then just play this version and you'll be happy. You'll be fine. It's a great game. You're gonna be okay. This game's just fine. But if you do have a Switch 2, then this is definitely a great way to play the game. It's definitely an improvement. Although it's not a needed improvement, it's a nice improvement. So there you have it. All right, everybody. Breath of the Wild gets an A. My name's Kenny. Thanks for joining me. Too Bad About Kenny is my channel. And just in case you happen to be a Tales from the Crypt fan, I just started a brand new podcast with my good friend Godin, where we watch and review all of the Tales from the Crypt episodes. So that is the Cryptique podcast. The Cryptique podcast, if you're interested, I'll link it in the description below. If you can't get enough of me and you want to meet my good friend Godin, then come through to the Cryptique podcast and check us out there. Bye and have a good day. Have a good Saturday. Have a good weekend. I'll see you later. Bye.
Too bad about Kenny. Life in a big city.